guys, welcome back to Irene Tarot Art. I'm Ren, a full-time artist living in Geelong, Australia. I hope you're having a great week. After last week's large-scale piece I worked on around the lake, I thought I'd work on just another little store piece this week. So I worked on this right here, which I call Autumn Lights. I had no prior plan for this canvas. I just kind of went at it without giving it much thought, and I think it really shows. I love the ground and how that turned out, but there's a lot I'd change a second time around. I'd sort of be a bit more methodical painting it if I painted it again, but that's all right. That's what happens when you don't give it much thought. You know, you see things that you would do differently another time around, so that's fine. It's just a store piece anyway. Other than that, this week I got outside for a little bit, going down to my local waterfront, just taking a nice packed Japanese lunch down there and a book, just to be outside on a day where it wasn't rainy and too cold for autumn. I also took my mum thrifting, as we like to do, shopping around for books and bargains and things like that, so that was nice. I had a catch up with my girlfriend Jo and we went shopping together. We grabbed some Mexican for lunch. And then later in the video, I also include a recipe for ginger pork and egg fried rice, which was quite straightforward, nice and easy to throw together, so you'll see that. But before all of that, my week basically started with the mundane tasks of meal planning and, you know, washing and all that boring stuff, and then heading out and restocking everything, so I've got everything on hand for the week. And then getting into this week's footage, I started this piece by basically laying in the sky and the background foliage and shadows on the ground. Like I said, I didn't give it much thought. I just kind of put some paints out and sort of went at it really. Before it gets too cold, because yeah, this year we didn't have a very long summer as per usual, so it's already getting quite chilly. But on one of the days where there was a bit of sunshine, I decided to head down to my local beach and took some Japanese food down there and sat on a rug, read a book for a little bit, had a stroll around. It was nice just being outside and enjoying some downtime by myself. Then following that on the painting, the next layer I put in the background light, some of the background trees and their foliage, and this will all basically get covered, this layer. It was just a half an hour session of just kind of throwing some paint on the canvas, nothing fancy. Another thrifting outing with Mum because we hadn't been in a few months. I really wanted to look for some more books as per usual, which you've heard me say many times before if you've watched any of my prior videos. But I always tend to find really good books thrifting. So yeah, went and did that. We hunted around for some bargains, had some lunch together, and yeah, we had a few good finds. So it was a good day, even though it was raining and it was cold outside. But everywhere we went was, you know, heated, and, you know, it was nice just to be out and about and, yeah, looking around.
Ahogy gondolod, nekem nem nagyon tetszik.
Nem, nincs rajta ár.
Találsz dolgokat?
Ja, nézd. Csomó.
Then on that same op shopping afternoon, I worked a bit more on the painting and worked on the foreground trees, just their trunks basically, and some of the branching, and started working a little bit on the ground as well. Then after painting that day, we had a nice dinner, we had a few drinks, had Teresa over, and that was nice. We just had another evening of yeah, chatting and having a few drinks as per usual. It's our usual It used to be every week, like a weekly catch up, but now it's at least every 2-3 weeks, if not more often. So yeah.
So summer, like I've got this dog pool, so it's an inflatable dog pool that you put a
How
hose
does that
to
work with dogs? Doggy's job is. As soon as you find my plant, it stops.
I don't know. It's just what I do.
I turn a lot of my power switches off. So yeah, like I have my
It's
my chargers. I only turn them on when I use them.
No,
Yeah. And also had a great catch up with Jo this week, who is a busy girl. She's my cowgirl girlfriend. She's constantly looking after horses and doing so much on her farm and looking after other people's horses. But yeah, we made some time to get together, go out shopping together, browsing at various stores, and then having some Mexican for lunch together, which was really nice. Okay, off to the other side of town.
T's and C's apply.
Just make it there on time, I think.
I love that. So pretty. I like all the black ones, even that one. All right, what do we need for luck now?
Rub it off.
What next? We need one of everything, please. That looks nice. I like the black ones with the sparkles.
Oh, sweet old black one, mate.
The heel's small though. It is a small.
Yeah, I could have got pairs.
Yeah.
Wow. Hopefully this is alright. Yeah. Different. Got a little bit on with the head the same as well, but yeah. She had a memory test yesterday done. Yeah.
Then on the painting, it was time to work on the canopy and the foreground. I laid in a lot of paint on this layer. This is probably the most important layer as far as putting everything where everything goes and all the lighting and everything. So yeah, it was a bit of a painting session. So this week I thought I'd include a recipe for ginger pork, egg fried rice and Asian slaw. This goes great with chicken. You can use tofu, things like that even, if you want a meat-free option. But yeah, no, it's a pretty straightforward dish and absolutely delicious. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to trim up and slice up our pork loin, and we're going to marinate that in some grated ginger, some chili, some mirin, a little bit of fish sauce and some corn flour. Mix that in really well. Later, we're going to be frying that off and adding some sesame oil and some oyster sauce. But before we do that, while it's marinating, we're going to make the Asian slaw with just some spring onions, some cabbage, some carrot and some coriander. And we'll just throw some coleslaw dressing on that. And then while we're frying the pork, we'll go in with some eggs into a wok. And then we'll throw in some leftover rice, whatever type of rice you have left over, it's fine. It's ideal to use cold rice for this if you can. And then we'll go in with some soy sauce, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of salt and pepper, and that'll be it. So once you've got your pork loin all trimmed up, I'm using a small loin for 2 people. Grate your ginger finely, slice your chili, and we'll go in with the pork. Then onto that with a little bit of fish sauce, mirin, also for seasoning, and a sprinkling of corn flour. And then you want to massage that in really well and make sure you distribute all the ginger and all the chili really, really well. There, that's done. Now we'll put that aside and do the slaw. I've finally shredded the cabbage. I sliced 3 spring onions for the fried rice, which will be later. And now we'll slice some spring onion for the slaw. We'll go in with some grated carrots. And this is Asian slaw because of the coriander, but I'm only going to add the coriander once I've taken Jay's serve out because he doesn't like coriander. So now we'll go on with some coleslaw dressing. And we'll mix that through really well, and I'll put it aside and put my coriander in when it's time to serve. So you want to get some oil on. I've just got some sesame oil and a bit of sunflower, and we're going to try to separate up the pork a little bit and start frying that off, and then we can do the fried rice. Now this does stick together, so you just got to kind of pry it apart, and once it starts frying it'll form a crust. Alright, wok on. So we're going to go in with 3 beaten eggs for 2 people. And in with our spring onions. That's looking good, a nice soft scramble. So now we'll go in with our rice. I'm just doing enough for 2 people. And you want to combine all that and let the rice heat up. You turn the pork down a little bit, now it's formed a crust. Pork is ready for the oyster sauce. Rice is heating up. On with a few dollops of oyster sauce. And I've just got that on medium to low heat now, so we just want to soften up that crust and it'll be scrumptious. And once your rice is frying, we'll go in with some soy sauce. Just a tiny bit of sugar, a little bit of salt. Combine that really well. That's done. Pork done, and we're ready to serve. And lots of coriander in mine. And then we'll go on with some rice. And lastly, that delicious pork. Little garnish of coriander. And we're done. And enjoy. Jay and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was on a night when Jazz was out at Max's place, so it was just the two of us. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, so maybe give it a go. But this morning I finally finished up this piece, which didn't take much work at all. It was just adding a little bit more highlighting basically to the trees. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I didn't get as many snippets of footage, like little bits of footage throughout this week as I have been in my prior vlogs, but I hope you still enjoyed it anyway. In the next couple of weeks I plan on working on quite a large scale piece again. I'm a little bit undecided on how I'm going to map it out as yet, but I'll work it out as usual. But yeah, that's about it for this week. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll come and join me again next time for that large scale piece and whatever else I've got going on in the next couple of weeks. And in the meantime, have a great week, have a great weekend, take care, and yeah, I hope to see you next time. Thanks guys, bye.